Welcome everybody. It's 3:33 on the clock. I just noticed. I have two of my messages of the day, my 3-deck reads. I have the 7-deck read on the table, but I also have a special message for you that I'm going to give to you first. I had done a message for myself with the Journey of Love cards, which I don't usually do for a read. I usually just pull them out one at a time for oracles. But I did a read for myself, and then following that, I asked a further question for the collective. So I'm going to read you what I got for myself because it leads into the general question that I asked afterwards, and I'm going to show you those cards for that read. So I'm going to get started with that, but first we'll go ahead and take our few deep breaths. Take a deep breath. Take another deep breath and hold it a little bit, as much as you're comfortable with. And one more deep breath, hold again. Sending lots of love and blessings. Hope you're having an amazing day. It's beautiful and sunny here today, right now, after it kind of rained all morning. It was kind of just misty. But the sun's coming out now. It's the first I've actually noticed that. And let's get right into these reads as we started at 3:33. We're going to roll the die, and we will do oracles at the end as I normally do. But we're going to start out with my special message today after we roll the die for you. So today is the 22nd of September, 2022. So it's very significant because 22 again in the year of 22. Today is, where am I? The 22. So the 22 is the Fool, and the day adds up to 37, which is the King of Cups. So unconditional love and the Fool's journey of the open heart, taking a leap of faith, of unconditional love. So much today. 4s were coming up and 22s as well, which 22 is a 4 in numerology. So let's go here. September 22nd, 2022 for the Twin Flames. We have the 69 of Cancer, which is also the 69 of the Ace of Pentacles, which is an offering of big time, money, and energy, or a new life perhaps. We have Venus here, so Taurus and Libra may be coming up with that as well. So a lot of love and family. And then the 6, which is family. So 6, which is also Gemini and the Lovers. So there's a lot of air there with Cancer. So again, the family was coming up very significantly in my messages too. All about the heart, heart-based feelings, emotions, Venus. And the 6 of love, family, and community, and the Lovers. But it's also June, which is Gemini going into Cancer. So Cancer came up again. So definitely that energy of June, of Gemini to Cancer, and Venus between them. And then actually that would be 6/21 or 6/22 would be that midpoint of June, because we're at the solstice energy right now. So something about that summer solstice. And the birds just flew across the window going north. All right, so let's see what's coming up regarding those energies of Cancer and Gemini. I know Gemini came up for sure. It always comes up for the twins because it's the twins. But it's also coming up in reference to Mercury, the messenger today, and that Quicksilver kind of energy. And again, the Cancer of the home and family very much so today. All right, so let's get into this message. So again, this is from the Journey of Love, which I usually just pull oracles for. This first part is just the message for me, but it always comes up as messages for all of us as the twins. And it leads into the message for all of us, which was significant for you today, and I'll show you the cards for that. So this was at 7:20 last night, which is the Chariot and the 20 of the Judgment card, which is the wake-up call. Excuse me, it's also 3:38 on the clock right now, which is a significant number for me because it represents the 33 of Christ and the 38 of the Mary Magdalene energy, 338. And it's just 4:54 on this clock, which is the 4 which I told you came up frequently today, and then the 54, which is that Page of Swords, Mercury, messenger energy from that Christ Magdalene energy. So at 7:20, which 7/2 is also the day I met my twin, so that's very significant. And the 72 by 2s of the 144, and 144 did come up at the end of my last read that I did this morning. So the underlying energy and the message for me from the Journey of Love came up with the King and Queen of Swords right away. So the King of Swords was Dream a Little, with the 7 of the Chariot and Shifting Universes, very musically symbol oriented, between the 51 and 52, which are the King and Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is the ancient ones, receiving the big light, which then connects to the solar flash. So that's why we got into the second part for you guys. The King of Swords dreaming as the chariot shifts, the Queen of Swords receiving the big light, the 64 of the sensual awakening of bliss, the 41 of the Holy Grail of Mary Magdalene with the weight of the world, Hercules, Hercules, her harvest, knowing without knowing, the 63 of the light field, which can be painful at times, with the Divine Masculine in the middle of the bridge with no protection, suffering in silence or stressed out or not sleeping, while the Divine Feminine's journey is devoted to the small. 45 of purging to discover hidden beauty, 31 of the Christed flame, after the 28 of the twin flames in their sacred convergence at 9/11 Memorial in Staten Island, with the Christ flame in Her Lady of Liberty's hand, the 59 of the 5 of Swords, and the ending of the inner war. As angels gather at her foot, which was the message I got several years ago of the angels gathering at the bottom of the Statue of Liberty as the Pleiadian ships come in above her. So here's the 5 of Swords ending the inner war as the angels gather at her foot in the ultimate marriage or wedding of bad and good. So yesterday, in the other messages I'm bringing you, actually the day before yesterday, was She is the Moon, the 21 card, which is very much coming up as the daughter energy, after the Hermit of the Heart of God. And the 53 then of the legacy of the 39 Knight of Cups, letting the Divine Feminine lead the way in the Kundalini rising, letting the wounded warrior go. The 20 of the Sweet Soul rising, in the wake-up call to union of towering magnificence, the 67 of the Knight of Pentacles, the Swan, humble, loyal servant, the Hermit, the Heart of God, the 21 that She is the Moon, the daughter, and the 43 of the 3 coming together. The bride offers herself amidst the chaos to the Emperor, number 4, of simplicity, and the 36 of the cosmic butterfly, Atlas, at last my love has come along, as the daughter gains independence. The 56 of the 2 of Swords comes up in this deck as Linda and Paul McCartney in their knowing in the dance of the planets, in the vortex of their record. So it's literally, I'll show you that card too. So Paul, by the way, McCartney is 80 right now. He's a vegetarian. And he was in the news because he's pleading with the Indian government to free the abused elephant held capture at the temple, who's been beaten and chained at the temple. So I was like, yes, go Paul. So at 7:54, which again is the Chariot and the Page of Swords of Mercury, the messenger, God speaks in direct connect. And by the way, Paul's current wife is Nancy Chevelle. She was born 11/20/59. So there's that 59 again of the inner war, but also the 20 of the wake-up call, and she's Scorpio, whereas Paul is Gemini. He's June 18th. So we just talked about June 22nd, and June 18 is within that transition, right, from Gemini to Cancer. So he's right in there as well. And also, I think June 18th came up in my message that I'm bringing today, or the one I last brought you. There was something about June 18th, or maybe it was July 18th, I'm not sure. But God speaks in this direct connect, talking about Paul reaching out to the Indian government about the elephant. And then the 33 of the Christ energy. Through the Christed one is the one of the magician embodiment, where a spark is born. The Divine Masculine's heart fire in the King of Swords, which is an air sign male, which Paul is Gemini, in the chariot of the musical symbols, And the 52 of the ancient ones, which was coming up, is Linda, who is also an air sign. She is Libra. And again, the feminines who are able to hold more light, as they've been doing all this work, breath work, very important to be able to receive the light that you're going to get from the big flash. The Queen of Swords, an essential awakening to bliss of the Holy Grail. Mary Magdalene and her daughter, Sarah, knowing without knowing, suffering through the light field in the middle of the bridge in the storm. They now have the ability to hold and condense more light to get into the body, and the 32 with good news for the devotion to the small, and the 45 of the hidden beauty, purging with the 28 twin flames in sacred convergence. It's like dumping shit to make room for more light for each other, projecting at 9/11 memorial. 31 is the Christ flame that lights up as the chaos of life is sparking the inner war of the worlds, right? The war between the masculine and feminine within Lady Liberty, with flame in hand and open book test, because she carries a book as well. So at 8:06, which is then the dance of the lovers, with space between, which actually came up in the Woodwives picture in the Shaman Dreams deck, because that's like the trunk of the tree with a new extension off to the side, but it's still part of the trunk, but they're more flexible. It's like the hybrid energies, right? They're able to be more flexible as opposed to the trunk of the tree, which is very stiff and immovable. So 8:06 is like the 8 of the trunk of the tree, which can only dance within, but the 6 is like, the Woodwives, the love family community who's able to work around the king, so to speak. The first card here is the 66 of coming together. And then the Queen of Pentacles, Golden Gate, that's 66 of the GG. The Spiral Rose Heart of the 61, which I was born in 1961, which was my birthday this year. As the Queen of Pentacles, 61, at 61, as she loves, as the Queen of Cups, the 38 of the Mary Magdalene energy, which is the Pearl Threaded. And then the 22 on the Fool's Journey, loving all that is and holding space, with the 15 of the Shadow and the Mother Praise. Remember, the praying mantis bites the masculine's head off, which was funny because when I wrote this, I had just yelled at Teddy for doing something. As the Dark Mother, or Capricorn, and 2 Pisces, Divine Feminine High Priestess. Within nothing, there is everything. Inside the womb, the mother prays for the daughter, within the core of herself. And daughter kept coming up, like when I'd say daughter, like the Daughter Institute would come up. So I was looking for daughter news. And there was a young person who died, James Thomas Daughter obituary from 1995 to 22, August 14th, 22, in Fishkill, New York, which I always feel bad about because they make such a big deal about the king or queen or the president or the famous person's birthday, but everybody's birthday is just as important. Remember that. So here's this young person who passed at 27. So I wanted to bring up his name. James Thomas Daughter obituary. I have no idea why he died so young, but just wanted to honor his passing. So then the Space Needle came up again because that's daughter, and I'd gotten Bill Gates associated with some kind of CERN energy underneath the Space Needle. But I was also getting that energy of the Twin Towers around the Space Needle. So I don't know if someone's planning something around that. I hope not, but I'm just letting you know that energy came up. But when I did look up the Space Needle in Seattle, the restaurant in the Space Needle just reopened 9/16/22. All right, so that news came up. So the Queen of Pentacles comes together. So there's the Beatles, come together right now over me. So, and that's over me, like over the Statue of Liberty. The Queen of Pentacles comes together as she loves the Queen of Cups, the Pearl Threaded. In 5D leap of faith, the mother prays for the High Priestess Pisces and or Divine Feminine. This is very much coming up as the mother and daughter energy. And then there could be someone who's pregnant, I'm not sure, but it's just about that connection of the mother and daughter and the lineage through the mother, not the father. The feminine is the womb. Just like in the Jewish religion, the mother determines the religion in Judaism. It's the same kind of energy that was coming up right here. The mother determines the line. And then the poem in number 66, that read, which is the Queen of Pentacles, says two energy patterns come together, a shared frequency in a field of possibilities, and there was resonance. You and another soul are coming into each other's worlds. All right, so that was the card 66. So then I'd stopped to take a break, and I was watching Jen McCartney and Laura Eisenhower talking. I didn't watch the whole thing, and I was the 88th view, by the way. Jen was talking about how she received a message from Queen Elizabeth, and how she had been controlled. You can watch the video, but just touching base on that about being controlled, which was interesting because Sam the Illusionist, when I watched his video this morning, was the message about where that started, the connection of the reptilians to the royal family. And Sam the Illusionist had channeled that it was connected to George VI during World War II, when they contracted for 1,000 years to have protection from the bombs in World War II so that the palace wouldn't get destroyed. So that's what Sam said about that. Jen was talking about the dark seal being broken now that she's gone, and was talking about the solar flash now being able to come through, and also talking about breath work being very important, which I've been telling you guys a lot lately about the deep breathing and how important it is. And she was associating that to the solar flash, so we'd be able to receive that light energy that's coming in, because it's very powerful, and how important grounding was. So pink light was coming up as consciousness light. So her and Laura were talking about their experiences when they first received the information about, for Jen, the event, and the solar flash for Laura. Laura, I think, was getting it as this pink energy coming in, like a pinkish magenta kind of energy. So meanwhile, I had gone on my run yesterday with Teddy yesterday, and I found two feathers. So one was a smaller version of a feather I'd found before. I'm not sure the type of bird, but the second was a big feather. I've never found one that big before, and it definitely looks like an owl's feather. It was light beige and white striped, and so I had looked that up. So that's part of what's coming up here too. But then, because I just watched Laura and Jen at 9:24, I asked my Journey of Love cards again the question, so what is the event specifically, and regarding my download that I got about the angels at the bottom of the Statue of Liberty. And the way the cards came out, and I'm going to show you the picture, was 1, 2, 3, and then 3, 2, 1. All right, so it came up 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. And then these are the underlying energies, okay? And I'm going to show you the pictures of the cards, so I have them in the same order. Okay, so the underlying energy. So I started where she is the moon, because that had come up the read before that. And in both of my read and this read, I'd started at she is the moon. So she is the moon was 21, which is the world and completion. And again, the first breath and new beginning comes up from the Shaman Dreams deck as well, because that was coming up in the messages that I'm bringing you today. So after that card, the first card was the 37 of fire and ice, and you can see there's Christ standing in the middle of the blue and the red. Very interesting, because something else I just realized came up as the blue and the red today in my message from this morning. Just remember I said that. So the blue and the red, the fire and the ice, and Christ standing in the middle, seeing the light at the end of the tunnel with unconditional love of the King of Cups. Then we have the eruption of light here, which is that Hieros Gamos, the light coming in. The 11 of alignment, the eruption of light. The fire and ice of Christ in the vortex of blue and red, seeing the light at the end of the tunnel of unconditional love. The chariots 7 of fire and ice, where 3 come together in 11, the eruption of light event. The Hieros Gamos alignment of truth and balance. Pisces and Libra there. And then we have the 25 of the Knight of Wands of seed of the heart. And you see it very much looks like the question mark. And then the 43 of the bride offering herself, but it's also the 43 of the Three of Cups, which is coming together in this chaotic energy that you see as the bride offers herself within the chaos And then the next card of the falling feather, which I just told you I found on my walk or my run yesterday, and the falling in the fall of the 14, which is the Temperance card, which I brought 2 home today, which then I have to tell you about my run again, because I usually go on the same path. Sometimes I'll switch it up a little bit, but yesterday I went on the same path, but we turned back on the street before the street I normally turn on. And what I didn't realize at the time, until the end of the block, was that Teddy had brought me onto Elizabeth Road, which I never run on. So we were on Elizabeth Road, where then she was bringing me a message. And as I finished Elizabeth Road to get on the other road that took me back to my regular route, there was a dog that Teddy greeted who almost jumped over the fence out of their yard to get to us. And I didn't know that dog, so it was a little intimidating there. And I told the dog to get back down, and then he stayed. But yeah, his body was over that fence, and it was not a short fence. So I looked up the owl energy, and the owl can see clearly in the dark and can also turn their head 360 degrees. Remember I said that too, because that came up with me before I read this, about the way that the head turns. That came up in one of my reads. And their sharp claws, which I was noticing about Teddy recently because he needs his claws to get cut back. Truth and wisdom and freedom from responsibility. Nocturnal. Representation of the underworld and death sometimes for the owl, as well as psychic abilities. Messengers and also warning of danger. I was just getting, again, danger, Will Robinson. So when the 360 degrees came up, Linda Blair came up from whatchamacallit? I'm just blanking out on the name. Right, when you get possessed? I'm just blanking out. You know what I'm talking about, though. So that Linda Blair came up, and then that took me to Linda McCarthy again with Paul. Not McCarthy, but McCartney. So we have both Jen McCarthy and Linda McCartney coming up. But Linda McCartney was coming up again regarding the owl and sending me a message. So at 9:46, coming back to the 14 of the falling feather that I just showed you with the 14, then came up the fact that Teddy had taken me down Elizabeth Road yesterday, and that's where I think I found the owl feather. The 58, and that was at 9:46, which is the Hermit and the Inner Children of Love. The 58 of the Four of Swords, and the beauty of the Four of Swords 5D connection. And that's the beauty card there. Okay, about seeing your own beauty. And then the 8 of the Yin Yang Lovers, which then I was getting John and Yoko and the dance of that. And then bending over backwards in the vortex to let down her hair, which always came up in the Sesame Street. With the Count used to, there was one scene I used to watch with my son about the Count, telling Rapunzel to let down her hair. So here's Rapunzel letting down her hair, because again, your hair is a connector and it's in the vortex. It's like lying down the red carpet for the Divine Masculine. And then we have the number 10 of that high vibe energy in the vortex, where now it's calm, of 3 to 1 jump. And also getting the energy of the 10-8, October 8th energy that I always get, not knowing why. So then I looked up the history of October 8th. And the first thing that came up in that list was the year 314, which is Pi. The battle at Abele. The Roman Emperor in the West, Constantine. Roman Emperor in the West, where Constantine the Great beats the emperor in the East Licinius, the area. So again, that came up in 2 ways for me, because 314 is my daughter's birthday, and it's also Pi, which is Einstein. My father worked at Einstein, and then Constantine is my father's name. So there's a lot about that was resonating with me personally, that it was significant to put down, so it may resonate with you in another way. But the other, I wrote down a bunch of different dates. There was a whole lot of stuff. I couldn't write down everything. But what came out to me most was 1604 was a supernova, Kepler's nova, first sighted by Ludovico Colombi. I don't know if it's Colombi or Colomba in Italy. Another one that really stuck out to me was in 1971. John Lennon releases Imagine. That was most profound to me. There's a lot of other stuff that came up, like a lot of like earth shattering things like earthquakes and things like that. The interruption of Galunggung in Java came up 1822. The first Hawaiian Constitution 1840. In 1860, the telegraph line between LA and San Francisco. 1865, the earthquake in Santa Cruz Mountains. 1871, October 8th, was the forest fire, destroys Peshtigo, Wisconsin. Wisconsin came up for me again this morning, killing 1,200 to 2,500 people, and the Great Chicago Fire as well at the same time, 4 square miles of 300 people who died, and originally the original Emancipation Proclamation got destroyed. 1915, October 8, was Battle of Loos on World War I Western Front ends, and Phillies win the first and only series before 1980 to the Red Sox 3-1. 1927 was Laurel and Hardy, their a short silent film, and 1942 is Abbott and Costello radio show. So you notice a lot of comedy and laughter coming up here. 1944, Ozzie and Harriet as well. 1945 was Harry Truman. Announces atomic bomb secret shared with Britain and Canada. 1961, USSR performs nuclear test at Novaya Zemlya. And 1965, they did that again at East Kazakh. And 1992 was the Pioneer Venus orbiter crashes into Venus. 2001, they established the Homeland Security, of course, after 9/11 with Bush. And then 1974 was Franklin National Bank collapsed, 1974 on October 8th. And again, like I said, the two most that stuck out the most were the 314 battle, 1604 supernova, Kepler's nova, and then 1971 of John Lennon releases Imagine, which I think Yoko was quoted saying that she was brought into this incarnation solely to bring that song out, because I guess the lyrics were, I think that was the song that she had written the lyrics for, but I can't remember exactly. All right, so then we go back to the read from 8 to 10 and October 8th, the Yin Yang Lover, and 3 to 1 jump into the 1028 Sacred Convergence I was getting here, because that was then the next card, the 28 of the Twin Flames, but also October 28th. October 28th coming up as the Sacred Convergence, and you see this looks like a push pop coming up from the 9/11 memorial, where the Pleiadians would project themselves onto a stage there. Very much that is the energy I always get from that card. So the first card out from the cards I pulled out for you, and that was all just the underlying energy, was the Christed Flame, the 31 of chaos of life, and the energy of the old Christ, the Christ on the cross, right? The sacrifice. The 59 then came up of the temple, and there's that Statue of Liberty with the marriage at the foot of the Statue of Liberty with all the people coming to see. Then the heart of God here, right? The ultimate heart of God, of the hermit within, the one and the all. And then the 51 of the King of Swords, who's out dreaming a little, perhaps dealing with some Reiki or Shokore energy there, learning Shokore. And then the 29 of the Spiral Dance of the Goddess. 29 is also the Three of Wands of being present in the moment, to your gifts. And there's a bow, like ribbon. So again, referencing gifts, and the ovaries as well, being the gift of the Divine Feminine. Then the 20 of the Sweet Soul Rising, and the wake-up call of the 7 of the shifting universes. And you see how much symbology or symbolism there is with music as well. The Chariot, shifting universes, and then the 34 of the becoming, the energetic exchange, the hours of love, and then the 54 of the Page of Swords, which is the messenger, the Mercury, the earth angel, right? This is like that energy preparing around the earth, right? All the atmosphere all around the earth as Mercury, like the elements of the electrons, you know, running around the center. That same type of energy, the same as the woodwives of the extra wood extensions from the trunk of the tree, circling around the main trunk. Becoming the 54 of the Page of Swords, the earth angel, where the cross falls as Lady Liberty rises with flame in hand as she fights for her freedom. As God's heart opens more, the King of Swords imagines, which came up on page 76 in the read for the Christ flame. Gifts of the spiral goddess and sweet soul rising in the wake-up call as chariots of fire and dice shift universes in energetic exchange, becoming the Page of Swords, the messenger Mercury, earth angel, with a steamy message of where fire and ice come together. Which was really interesting too, because then it was bringing up my pendant again of Mercury, which I was gifted when in my 20s by my ex's cousin, who had just met me. She literally gifted me this pendant of Mercury, which I never associated it with Mercury. I just loved it because it was like a woman with her hair blowing back, and I used to draw that constantly when I was growing up. So angels have been preparing the planet, making our beds, so to speak. So then I was guided to open a random page, and I opened up my numerology book of the Divine Triangle, so page 200, which happened to be right on page 30, or not page 38, page 200, which is the Divine Feminine, High Priestess, but it opened up to the number 3811, which is my soul number, and the picture of the King of Cups was right above that, because the 37 is the King of Cups, is the number explanation right before the 38. So both the King and Queen of Cups were being represented right there as I opened the book. So, and again, very much of unconditional love of that, and of that Cancer deacon energy. So that was the message that came through regarding the light coming through. And again, a lot about October. October 8th and October 28th came up as two significant dates. And now we're going to go into the two messages of the day from yesterday and today. So again, today is the 22nd. And again, the last read I did came up as reflections of Andromeda and Pegasus in the vortex. Because remember, Andromeda and Pegasus share a star, so they're never separated. All right. So the message of the day from yesterday was at 10:30 a.m. And here's this message. So it's set up like I normally set this one up. To the left is the underlying energy, the way the cards came out. Top deck is Metatron. The middle deck is Nature's Whispers. The third deck is Shaman Dreams. So you have Metatron from the etheric realms, basically. Nature of nature, what we're used to. And then the Shaman energy of the deep earth energy. So I love that combination of the three decks. So we have the cards the way they organically came out. At the end is a pile of cards that I usually count for numerology energies. But I also go through the pictures of those cards. I'm going to bring it up a little closer so you can see the pictures better. Okay. All right. So this one was done at 10:30 yesterday morning. 10 is the Wheel of Fortune, 30 is the Union, the home. The three piles that came up were 16, 8, and 2, but also the 1 within the 2 was coming up, which is the 2, the Magician and the High Priestess. The Tower, the Strength, the Magician and High Priestess, or the 4 and the 44 in this deck. So again, the angelic realms and 4s were coming up very significantly. The Sudden Event, so there's the event coming up again, requiring strength, and the Dance with Magician, High Priestess, and 444. The 4 of stability and the 44 of grounding, integrating, and mastering how to receive love. And again, we talked about grounding. So 444 is really talking about the root and grounding, grounding, grounding. The sudden manifestation of the magician and the high priestess. The underlying energy of the 24, which is orange, the Queen of Wands, and Omega. The 48 of hope and happiness, and the 1 of the tidy house, where the Queen of Wands is called to stretch and lunge to release those energies, to walk away and within, perhaps to the beach, and tidied up a bit. Working out, exercise, remember this is all underlying energies, but R&R, and perhaps cleaning up the house. Release and stretch for excess energy, for happiness at the beach, and creating a tidy house naturally because you're now inspired. At 1042, which is the Wheel of Fortune and the 2 of Cups, the underlying energy of the evolution of the number 40, Page of Cups, the sweetheart, as above, so below, the 41 of love, of the Holy Grail, and the 26 of the Page of Wands. So it's coming up as the Page of Cups is the sweetheart, the Page of Wands is the lion's heart, which actually I get this as the feminine with the lion's heart and the masculine with the sweetheart. And self-love, the womb, the heart, and the womb. So again, the Holy Grail has been coming up as the bottom of the Holy Grail is the cover of the womb, and the top of the cup holds the heart as the connection between the two. The mother and child, the 2 inner children reflecting compassion and love to each other. In the void, the Om, the symbol of Om, which is the 30 with a crown, the home, the union. The crowning achievement in the purple moon, when you take time away and within. The aqua rose gold mother's heart for relationships and harmony. The 24 of the Queen of Wands to stretch and release the id of the ego to the ID of the I divine. The 24 is an aspect of 6, 24/6, the energy it takes to be a mother and get to Omega of the 1,000 suns of enlightenment. The Page of Cups loves the Page of Wands in the Om of the mother's heart. The Queen of Wands is always connecting and attuning to her children and her inner children. Mother Earth, again with her core, and Metatron's cube for grounding support. The hexagon Merkaba in the dodeca pentagon of 5 and 6 and 7 of 5D, 60, and 70, which equals 18 of the life energy of High and the purple moon, which is 0 point. The 0 point, the upper octave of 144, the ever-flowing 1,000 suns, 1 triple play of 5D, 60, 70 of 22 to 11 to 00, which equals 33, where the 3, 4, 5Ds that what we've been working to getting from the 3D to the 5D comes up as 44, 33, and 22, which equals 99, and the need for compassion for self. But by the time you get to the 22, 11, and 00 of the 5, 6, 7D, you're at the 33 level, helping others along the way. The 7D is the 0 point field, right, that disappearing act, where the 5D 0 point is a platform to jump off to the 6D, which is 11 of instant manifestation, and the 7D, which is the 00, where there's no need for mass anymore, of time and space, no need to manifest something physical. The 4th density is less mass, right? So you go from the 3rd to the 4th density, you're increasing the light and reducing the mass. So 3D is a very dense density. As you go to the 4th density, there's a little bit less mass and then more love and light. The 5th density is of wisdom and teaching, 6th density of more wisdom with observation, and the 7th density with no need to appear at all, right? So you're etheric at that point. So then density was coming up, and dens, D-E-N-S, with I-T-Y, and then dense E, D-E-N-S-I, also came up. So den, D-E-N-S, is dens, like plural of den. But it's also a tooth-like process, inside, within, projecting from the anterior end of the centrum of the axis vertebra on which the atlas rotates. So in other words, just like your tires are on the axle, it's the same thing with the atlas on top of the axis. It's like on a spike so that it can rotate. Dense, thick, tooth, and spike come up as the definitions. Point, fluke, and also, though, envy and ill will, right? Because the one with the spike has control over the one who's rotating around it, even though they're the lead guy, right? So if the support system collapses, then so does the lead. The finger that wears the ring as well. The lion's dens, the ring finger that leads to the heart. And then at 1111, Densi came up, D-E-N-S-I, from density, which means television or dance. It also is, it's the energy of the teeth, like I said, the dens of the teeth, which I was doing shredding yesterday, and my shredder kept overheating, so it wouldn't take in the paper anymore. But it's the same energy of the teeth in the shredder. And again, the energy of condensing together. So when we're shredding paper, we're making it smaller to condense. At 1111, condense together, and again, the energy of the soul coming into the body has to condense itself to get in. So they have to keep trying over and over again until they're comfortable staying in, just like the twins in each other's energy. The womb, the uterus, where the den also means child, and so means house. Bambara, hairy, dense, and frequent, crowded, all come up for densi. Let's see. So the axis that Atlas rotates on with gratitude, the place to hang and rotate within or spin, again, the tire wheel on the axle or the axis. So at 1117 is justice and the star, where the soul must condense into a womb, a child, a den, a box. The lion's den, at the right angle, connection to slide right in, like the shredder. The more it connects, the more it reopens again to take more. So like when my shredder stops taking paper in because something jams, if I can get just the corner in at the end of the shredder, it'll take in just a strip of paper, but eventually if I keep doing that, it'll open up the rest of the line. It's the same type of energy that was coming up here, right? If you can just get a little in, then you can start opening up to the rest. Like a cube into a circle, it's not a natural fit. The Atlas sits on the axis spike and egghead on Atlas. The axle supports the wheels and tires so that they have unlimited access to roll and shift. So there's the energy of the rolling stone and the shift. Controlled via support and yet free to roam, that rolling stone, to be able to move your head around at least 180 degrees, which then comes up that Linda Blair moment again in The Exorcist. That's what I couldn't think of. The half moon split when your daughter finds her independence, right? She becomes the moon. She leaves the Earth's core to become the moon, the purple moon. And notice we measure square feet on a round planet that all have a curve, actually, or an arc, because a line is just 2 points that are arcing together. And then the picture of someone lunging was coming up, and the shape it makes between. Not just a triangle, but the arcing energies. If you take that triangle shape of the lunge and you arc it, because the lines aren't actually straight, it becomes the almond shape, which again references the diamond and the two almonds, the two all worlds. The almond shape of the right triangle, which also references the star, because a square or a diamond is actually arced, and when it's arced in, it becomes that image of that star Bethlehem type of energy, the diamond star. So diamond actually equals a star or a circle. Because when you take the square and you arc it, it either becomes a diamond inwardly or it becomes a circle outwardly. All squares and cubes are actually circles and spheres. Nature gets thinner and thinner at ends until it disappears. It just doesn't drop off. There's always a decrescendo, no harsh edges. Even stones and rocks are weathered and get rounded over time. Edges soften or blur like the horizon. The circle divides into two 180 degrees, the polarities, as 360 degrees is the weight of the world on your shoulders, and sharing that weight not only with two in 180 and 180, but 8 billion ways, the dance of the Bill or the William connection, where Bill, capital B, is 13, which is transition, to ill. Transition ill, or ILL, which is the chakra system aligned, is ill to 3D humans, but not to higher vibrational beings, right? So to be higher vibrational in 3D human eyes is considered ill, just like a lot of people think of autism, right? That there's something wrong with them, but they're actually the ones in the higher vibration having a hard time in the 3D density. So Bill is the transition of ill or ill will. The chakra system aligning is ill to the 3D humans, but it's actually an aligned chakra system to higher beings. So William comes up as the W of two U's, ill, I am. Two as one in aligned chakra system, where density is density plus TY. Thank you. Condensed and keep trying until they get in with gratitude. The 14 of boundaries and set them daily with nature and love. The auric keys found on your path each day through arches and steeples to the sun portal, east to west. Follow the sun. Sunrise, not in the morning, which references grief, because morning's for after dinner. The sunrise is in the AM. The moonrise is PM, or post AM. Sunrise time for meet and greet. Top of the day, hi, not hellish or hello, but hollow might be a better word for that. Is time for mourning or grieving and purging is not AM, but after dinner. Greetings, charmed, good day perhaps. The fall harvest. Farther, follow the sun. Farther the sun. Mother, be patient, not patient, grounded. And the mother was coming up as the mater in moderation. The mother is the ground. And then Ireland was coming up as the third eye. But the Ireland. So it was coming up as very significant there. The mother. The grounding mother. The omega of 24 and 0 point angel, and then the crown energy of Mount Kailash in the Tibetan Himalayas came up. So if I'm not sure about Ireland, about the chakra of Ireland, I haven't felt into that. But if any of you have comments about that, you can certainly put them below. I was also getting, there was, some people call the soul star the 8th chakra, some the 11th, and I asked, and I was getting the 11th. So I thought I'd bring that up as well. Omega 24, the Queen of Wands. The 0 point field 18, and the angel of 14, and Mount Kailash in the Tibetan Himalayas coming up here. At 11:58 then, 11 again of justice and the 58 of the 4 of swords, of sleeping, rest, praying, meditating, the 5D connection, and the 11 card of the wake-up call and the clarion call to listen and take note with the mouthpiece, not the piece for your mouth, but the PEACE, the mouthpiece, the 10 of the new dawn of high vibe destiny, and the Christ cracking egg open, or Christ cracking open egg of 2 U's, the twins. The dawn, which is the dad of 2 U's and Jesus. The Holy Communion to the U of the 2 Holy Grails. The rooster's call is when the sun rises, welcoming you back each day with a smile. There's no words needed, just shining your light. The 12 of Akashic Records to open a page. And so this time I opened a page to Energy Medicine, page 23, which was also 22, which was labeled Energy is All There Is. Page 22, I had underlined the energy field responds to human intention, negative versus positive thoughts. And on page 23 were subtle energies in healing. And the example of that was a patient with 2 blocked pathways, where she hooked up on either end of each pathway with her hands And she took on the issues from the patient, where on the first pathway she couldn't breathe, and the second pathway she was just bawling her eyes out as she was clearing this woman, for half an hour or whatever it was. So again, the energy lines in the energy medicine book, if you want to check that out, because it has a lot of hands-on information. Let me just show you the book again. All right, so energy medicine, Donna Eden. You notice the reference to Eden. There's a lot of stuff you can do yourself within that book, so it's a very practical tool. So at 12:11, which is the Hanging Man and Justice, I had 16 cards at that point. The 16 coming up as sudden events, the Tower, epiphanies, sexual exchange. But also today is the 22nd. This was done yesterday on the 21st. The 21st is the midpoint day. So I always talk about Virgo to Libra is the middle point of the astrological chart. So literally the change from Virgo to Libra on the fall equinox, the 21st, is the midpoint day halfway through the year, halfway there. And again, the energy of the two flags crossed is the halfway point in a race. So 16 cards came up. And the blue mother, Madonna, so again, I keep getting the black Madonna is really the blue Madonna, but it's just very dark blue, with serious alignment and holding space and gifts. The one of the yellow bee of joy and happiness, and the blue and yellow cord of the twins, the kind of blue and yellow or blue and gold energy. The blue is the mother, and the yellow is or gold is the Christ cord or flame. The 27 of the Ace of Wands, arcing by breathing deeply to lift up your wings. The 15 to shower in the diamond light for clarity, and the 53 of the Knight of Swords with the key to the root and freedom to repair the tree. The 25 is the Knight of Wands with passion and love for life. So passion is a pass connection, but compassion is a calm pass or easy pass connection. Lighten up your heart with the 4 to let go in the fall. It's time to release with the gold, which is the G old, the ancient one. 16. The ancient ones that go for the gold, from womb to heart to infinity and beyond. 31 of chaos, of raw energy and collecting, in order to condense into the shadow pack for later. So again, condensing the light to be able to use as you go forward. The 39 of the Knight of Cups and the Emerald Order of Heart Healing, and the 22 of Saint Dolphin with music for Fool's Journey, who's with you now. The High Priestess Divine Feminine with time out needed, in the purple moon, perhaps to meditate. The 5 of communication to speak and be heard through peace, calmness of the mouth and mind. The 30 of union and the silver warrior of light, which is referencing the silver cord today, and the energy of liquid silver, of Mercury, and the direct connect of the messenger. The sword and the stone, the vehicle to get the message out of the instrument by melding together, about being one with, channeling when you no longer have to think step by step. Everything all blurs together. So like in learning anything, whether it's piano or, how to be a doctor or whatever the lesson is, when you get really good at it, you're then channeling it. You don't have to think step by step anymore. You don't have to use your brain. You now have your heart brain. And this was at 12:21. Breathe the air in transition and fly free with the octohedron, October's co-creation. Air and water. Remember to breathe and drink or be in air and water. The bird and the dolphin for intellect and emotional well-being. I, Mother, dense with 20 faces, in source support of the Divine Feminine in direct connection. The more faces, the softer the lines and angles. So again, very much the bird and the dolphin coming up here. And the picture of the swan and the dolphin. I'm getting Flipper, which I didn't get before. So something about Flipper coming up, right? He's so friendly with humans and the birds as well, right? Our sea friends and our air friends. At 12:28 is the Hanging Man and the 28 of the twins. The underlying energy of the leap of faith, the 42 of let love be your beacon, be lighter. The 21 of the fresh approach, the 34 of vulnerability, of leaving the wounded warrior behind. The 29 of contemplation of the butterfly lion, the transformation of the right angle connection. The 48 of hope and happiness, of walking away within, being wild and free at the beach, with crowds and birds and butterflies, and your wind in the hair, or your hair in the wind. At 12:31, the hanging man and the chaos of the 1, the 45, the grief of empowerment in order to move to peace. The 24 of the Queen of Wands and Omega, to be your best self always, as the wild child. Andromeda, so Andromeda and Pegasus coming up here. Andromeda and Peg as us, as I had just was going for a run with Teddy at that point. At 12:33 is the hanging man and the Christ vibration, which is literally Jesus on the cross. The 14 of the angel and the 4 seasons, that this too shall pass. Patience with patience and balance. And the 36 of Atlas intuition at the top of the crown. Your unthinking cap is on. So instead of your thinking cap, you're putting your unthinking cap on. So I went for a walk with Teddy, and then when I came back, the head and neck up and down and all around, hair wild and free under the water at the beach, be a part of the tree, all 4 seasons of the tree, with assurance another family member who's been there all along, the tree. The 36 of your intuition, which is also the intuit connection, or the tribe at the crown of the earth. The Atlas intuit connection, the twin towers of you and I. The map from here to there, to feel the magic. And that was at 1:35. The magician and the wounded warrior, and letting that wounded warrior go. So at 1:40 is the magician and the page of cups. The 8 cards came up there, which is the dance, manifest, be strong and courageous. The 5 to clear out the old, to feel free, allow the change, to seek the 20 of a higher ground, and a wake-up call to the 49 to heighten your vitality and self-love in comfortable clothes, self-love. The 39 of clear endeavor, the Knight of Cups, ending emotional attachments to spring, seeing the beauty of winter, of Beetle and Bella's triangle with Sirius and Procyon, the positive descendant. The 15 after the shadow work, to catch your breath and hug a tree. And then the Hermit, and paint a pretty picture of the perfect setting for the sun to rise. The 32 of the journey, and trust your own understanding of it. Trust your vision, your filter of the journey, bringing good news and good cheer in the dance of the breakthrough, with an open heart and leap of faith into the ocean waves on gossamer wings, to feel the rainbow. The rain is a source of purge, in blessing us with very needed water. The rainbow, which is Ra in bow or arc, or in transition of human to 2 U's. Ray in arc, a projection of energy, light. When source lights up to see us, they can't help but brighten up. At 1:54 is the magician and the page of swords, and the underlying energy of the whale's song. The 61, again, of the whale resonating, which again is resonating with me as the divine feminine, being born in 61 at 61, resonating regarding resonate is RE, regarding the sun at or in God, 61. An arc between divine masculine, or 2 points that exudes love, or taking a risk to be open and vulnerable. 61 is a 7. It's also the risk card, the key. The divine masculine being loving is key. The whale sings the blues until the divine masculine is reasonable. The 8, or the crazy 8, in the right use of power in crown games of CG, the Christ God, whispering bench around the perpetually cracking egg. Their closest and most trusted advisors, where they can remove their crown and be comfortable. The 48 of the sky dancer in surrender, walking away and within after the 11 of alignment in the deep quiet of meditation, and surrendering to close the door, to complete. Freedom of change, with the 1 of a tidy house. Tidy equals time out, to ID the Y in the road, the 0 point, for clarity of the heart home. The tidy house in itself is a 3D name, right? Because source, TI is source and DY is die, so tidy actually means that source dies of the house and is of no use. The tidy house is HO, use. The tidy house is where the masculine dies so that the hoe can use them. Okay? The tree house is a family place of woods. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. The ideas just put out there. The one, though, without the two. At 206 of the High Priestess, Divine Feminine, and the 6 of the Lovers, or Love Family Community. The one, the first card, is the 43, the coming together in joy and the overflow of overwhelm and plenty. The tree house versus the Taj Mahal underwater. The dry wood versus the fat cat. The tidy house can be too restrictive or anal, and the emotional Taj just too much of a good thing, including company, perhaps bad company. 6 is the cosmic womb of the Divine Feminine, a space transport system, connection to the heart home. The mother knows, I was just getting the motor knows. The 20 of the feast of plenty, choices and their consequences, of two sharing affection with each other, and with too much end up judging themselves and or others. Like twins in the womb, 50-50 or 80-20 or 10-90. The areas they match, and then other areas they complement. One restricts, and the other's too much. The Divine Feminine's love is a wake-up call to blend, to be a milkshake. What doesn't work will settle into the bottom. What does work will rise to the top. At 215, the High Priestess in the shadow, of 2 cards that came out here, of the Divine Feminine High Priestess. Part is the 4, the Emperor and Stability, the Caterpillar or Cat ER pillar and the opportunity, of the Whispering Bench at the Urgent pillar. The pi, which is the circle with the line down the middle, right, perfectly balanced, and the 11, which is also balanced and aligned. Channeling AR, a backwards ray, or disappearing act, reflecting within instead, or the Whispering Bench at an ER entrance at 222, the Guidance Counselor show. Effective radiated power coming up here as ERP, the chakra system aligned, radiating within. ERPI comes up as to harrow or rake, like the shredder I talked about, but instead to break up soil, remove weeds, or to cover seeds. But it also means to frighten or torment, to break or tear, to wound, lacerate, vex, distress, a call for help or alarm. So the cat erpi lar, which is the caterpillar, is the home hearth, housekeeping, the household, the kitchen stove. With the trammel, which is the shackle, which impedes your freedom, the fishnet, the instrument to draw ellipsis, the bean compass. The cat to shred, torment, or wound, a call for help, home. The cat to frighten the household, to break the stove, the Whispering Bench at the fun house. The 44 of the perfect storm, of the bald cat and the bird with a hole in their heart, spiraling within. The ravens unraveling back, the show-off in the eye of the eagle's storm. The cat sees the bird look away, perched high in the eagle's nest. A home field position advantage and lay of the land at 236, the High Priestess and Atlas energy, the weight of the world. So that was the first read. The second one, which was from today, is at 12:04 to 12:07. So there's that 4 to 7, the sweet spot that I always talk about, of the heart chakra also to the crown. The 3 piles in this read, which I need to show you. So here is this read, same setup, just different cards. Same Metatron on top, Nature's Whispers in the middle, and then Shaman Dreams at the bottom. So here's a closer look at them. So the 3 piles in this read were 13, 11, and 14. Transition through justice and alignment to angelic realms. The dark night aligns with the patient angel. Also Scorpio, Libra, and Sag come up there. The underlying energy of the 45, the endings, the 41 of the being in service, and the 43 of the overflow of coming together in joy. Purging self-love, spiritual love, and new love, and coming together with so much, it's overwhelming. And then the water is spilling over. And so that happened to me this morning with my pitcher, because I have a filter pitcher. It's a fluoride filter pitcher. It does much more filtering. It's Pro 1, I think. But if you've just filled it up and you go to pour what's still left in the bottom, it overflows, right? The stuff that's not filtered yet comes out as well. So that's no good, right? Because you're wanting filtered water. So this spilling over of the water was coming up in the same kind of energy. Grieving through service and coming together in joy spills over to others, but some of it may be unfiltered, right? Because it might not get through in the translation. At 12:16, which is the Hanging Man in the Tower, the underlying energy of Atlas here with 44 of the beacon to be lighter, to light up as the waves beat the mountains and energize. It gets their heart started. It was like going out with Teddy this morning when he saw the dog that lives behind us, and they were so excited to run through the yard and show off for each other. It really gets their heart started. To play in the AM with the 43 of coming together is healing. To pause to receive. In love, out fear when breathing. In joy, out pain. In peace, out chaos. The shaman red root of the 55 of truth, and safety, strength, and power, and the hand up, and how. Remember, that's a sign of vulnerability and healing at the same time, showing that you trust another person, showing your hand. Making peace treaty with self in hermit taking action with big bird chariots of fire and ice. The 45 of endings that you are held in the moonrise when the sun glows on the horizon line or arc. Come together to heal, make peace, take action, and then purge at the end of the day. First you meet and greet at sunrise with family for self-satisfaction. The 46 of the inner children asking who are you today as your authentic self. And all the cups cards were coming up. 5 of cups, 9, 6, and then page, and then the ace of cups. The key to the sweetheart and the evolution. The evolution is broken down into ev, olut, and then ion, which is connection. Which olut means beer or ale, but it also means the stem. Remember stem, because that'll come up again. It also is like an old malt, which is like that picture of the soda shop malt, of sharing the malt. The evolution is the ev stem connection, where ev is the house, the home, the age, the period, the dynasty. The home stem connection or lineage equals evolution of sweethearts, the holy grail, a big cup of love reflecting compassion. The Queen of Wands is called to stretch and lunge, to connect and attune to that. The 11 of the clarion call, to listen and take note, to wake up to the path of the 14, which is coming up as the gold ray, which is 4D if you go to Ascension Glossary. 14 is coming up as the path of least resistance with auric keys, the gold ray keys. And this came up before I was guided to go to Ascension Glossary. This was coming up directly from the card 14. So on card 14, the path of least resistance, finding auric keys on your path, which are coming up as gold ray keys. So I went to Ascension Glossary because I looked up gold ray, and that comes up as the second light manifestation of the gold order, our gold ray orders of the seraphim. The Arazavian bird people and the lines of the solar rishi, who you can look up in Ascension Glossary. I'm sorry, I didn't write very clearly here. The lines are the solar rishi who incarnated in the fourth harmonic universe on the Lyra Vega through the 10th universal stargate. Because the tribal shield affiliation and genetic relationship to the 10th stargate and infiltrate of the Golden Eagle grid, many of the Gold Order appointed directly to rehabilitate and transit the draconian race lines override their timelines that are related to NAA. The fallen 10D lines for Vega because dragon moth lines, as well as hybrid between gold order seraphim and fake Draco lines. So again, talking about not only dark energies wanting to blend races to create more of their energy, but the positive side wanting to blend to take out the dark from the dark. So there, again, it's always both sides reflect each other, the dark and the light. Guardian host also came up as a definition, which you can go to Ascension Glossary and read that as well. But it talks about the 12D Kunda ray and above, the 13, 14, 15 of the mother blue ray, the 14 of the gold ray, and the 15 of the father magenta ray, or violet magenta ray, the threefold founder she talks about. The flame of the GSF triad, the Christos elders of the crystal star, the Lyra Syrian founders in the Holy Emerald Order, the Gold Order Ra Confederacy, and the Amethyst Order of the ancient master builders and architects, stemming from Master Christos Collective and Orifeme that protect law of one. The ascension path to GSF, any being to be able to ascend, evolve their consciousness and exist as God, sovereign free. So again, this is all coming from her website, Ascension Glossary. 1251, 12 is the Hanging Man and the King of Swords. So again, 13, 14, and 15D were coming up as the Mother, Father, Christ energy. And then 13 cards came up. So that was referencing the Mother Blue ray, 13D, the Blue Madonna, and again the Mother Ray being 13D. And then the 10 card came up of the New Dawn of the Sun, the 26 of the Pink Self-Love and Nurture, and the Life Bulb of the Silver Cord, our cord, connections to the Sun, the Mercury Liquid Silver, the Direct Connect. So our cord is being described as Mercury, Destined Page of Wands, the Rose Lion's Heart, and the Knight of Cups Emerald Green Heart, the Womb Heart connection of the Holy Grail, the Holy Emerald Order of the Threefold Creation, the Flower of Life, where 10, 11, 12 is also a higher order, right? We have the 3, 4, 5, 6, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of the 3, 4, and 5D, and then going up to the 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, the higher octaves of planetary and Godhead systems on the journey of the Tree of Life, from the elements and the stones, the plants, the animals, and the humans, from the id to the ID, I divine, from instant messaging to I am, with Metatron 27 as the Ace of Wands, the inspirational rainbow arc beneath Michael's wings, your breath with lungs beneath your wings, always open to breathe more deeply, increasing your ability to hold more light. The Indigo 21, whole in connection with Double Diamond Star, Sirius, and Betelgeuse, and the positive ancestral support from Procyon. The Winter Triangle of winter and triangles, where Tur is the river, bull, or direction of Taurus, or devastating win at all cost, to possess, tar and feather, thrice or 3 times to seal, Betelgeuse, right? Betelgeuse, Betelgeuse, Betelgeuse. To sweat, the aunt or uncle, to win. But win also means to trouble oneself, to resist or oppose, fight, contradict, struggle, rage, endure. For with win comes a loss. For the toroidal field to be off balance. Polarized win-loss as opposed to fun and games. The 37 of the King of Cups, detach from drama and look up without conditions. Don't be a sore loser or an arrogant winner. Just have fun instead. The Kundalini 35 releases the wounded warrior victim with help from signs and synchronicities from your spirits with love. The 10 of Cups family of the 50 via the number 33 Christ invitation to the Golden Gate number 66 of the the Queen of Pentacles, and the 2 spirals of the Rose Heart, the twin flame double diamond golden sun, the twinkle twinkle twin key little star, untying the knots and retying them with a bow. Oh, bow. The human bow, which I played the oboe, by the way. The human ark, no ahs about it. The holy grail womb of the pink heart, the emerald holy emerald order through the gold ancient one. At 115, which is the magician and the devil, which 15 also comes up as the father energy, 15D, then the 16 card came up as the subtle projection of light, the lighting up of replenishment, the origins, the beginning. So not only do we have 13, 14, 15, but now they're telling you about the 16, 17, 18. At 116 of the tower, the 15 to the 16 is the transition. The ancient ones, new dawn of 16 to 10, which is the 26 of the Page of Wands and the Lion's Heart. With the 40, which we talked about already, was the Sweetheart. The pink of the Sweetheart and the emerald of the Lion's Heart. The P and E, the PE of physical ed, the extra dimensional in physicality. At 118, the underlying energy of the 43 in coming together right now over me as extra dimensionals, the bird meets the human, right? Connecting where the bird opens up and is actually a spaceship inside, landing on the human's hand. The 17 of infinite blessings, which we all know, the 17 is the star of Bethlehem after the 16 of the sudden event, the supernova. The sudden inner truths of the 16, 17, and 18, which is life, is the chai. It is the energy of the 0 point. The sudden star of Bethlehem, which means the house of God, l'chaim, to life. The supernova, where nova means new and star, is born. The explosion of blessings and inner truths, the 37 of unconditional love and the ideal course of action of that love, as the city or castle is magnetized to the country side of the tracks, like the Mason-Dixon line, or vice versa. The 41 to be in service to the little ones, with self-love, spiritual love, and new love, the Holy Grail. To the seahorses, Donnie and Marie, a little bit country, a little bit rock and roll, as she feeds to the birds and seahorses. Pegasus, PE, gas, us. I just told you PE is the extra dimensional in physicality. PE as a gas, and us, or US. Photonics energy, high blue frequency, high energy, longer wave, lower energy, which is the red energy. The photonic energy from solar irradiation. From photonics.com, Light Matters was the title on this header, 03.2018, or March 2018, Weird and Strange, Quantum Photonics, MIT, Dr. Dirk Englund study, Diamond and Silicon Photonics. The first article that came up on that website was light-powered nano motors perform as ultra-small energy converters in Texas 7/21/22. Optical nano motor use light power at nanoscale. Nano motor rotates on solid substrate when illuminated with light due to the incorporation of a thin layer of phase, right, the phase conjugator, the phase change material on the substrate. the film changes from solid to quasi-liquid with light. So again, there's that mercury kind of energy, right, of liquid silver. It changes to liquid with light and drives the rotation. And what did we talk about? We talked about the rotation of the atlas on the axis. All right, so you can look that up too if you'd like to on quantumphotonics.com. At 134 is the Magician and the Energetic Exchange of the Eight of Wands, the Arrows of Love, where the first card out here is the 25 of the Knight of Wands, to keep your dreams alive. That inspiring kind of lighting a fire under your butt energy. And remember, the blue and red came up here with the, when it's photonics energy, when it's high frequency or the waves are close together and high, it's blue. When there's a longer wave or lower vibe energy, it's the red. In the pictures anyway, on that website. So with keeping your dreams alive, with the blue baby blowing kisses to you from beyond, the 34 of vulnerability of the pink little girl floating on a dry leaf down the flowing river away from the 9 candles, which is the wounded warrior, the victim mentality. The Knight of Wands and Energetic Exchange with the 2 Divine Feminine High Priestess illumination of butterfly transformation as the daughter gains independence, to the purple moon along with guidance. 15 is the 15D Father. When ungrounded or dealing with shadow, hug a tree, the father's lineage. At 138 is then the Queen of Cups with the Magician, the 11 cards of justice and alignment and vision, which is the 3811, is very much about the visionary. The one of making a wish, to blow a kiss from the emerald to the gold. Number 33. Be gentle with yourself, with your magic, and you're standing up here. So again, I was getting the energy of the stand-up comic, right? So the magician stands up to do his act, but so does the stand-up, the comic. The 27 of the Ace of Wands, inspiring childlike spirit to swing on the tree. The 50 of the family's potential gateway, the place where dogs and horses play and families lounge. The 23 that you are worth it, King of Wands, and the 7 of the candle of the little chariot, and your true love, King of Wands, and the 18 of life and new experiences and possibilities, the bouquet of the heart healer on a horse with an invisible horn, or the unicorn, with butterfly on the round table, or the knight's round table, with windows to the world to see the homes. The 8 of the dance of the breakthrough, for the child with an open heart and a leap of faith into the rough ocean waters at 144. The butterflies are free to fly, so fly away, bye-bye. As the little fairy girl at 145 touches base, first at the tree trunk, to pause and reflect the emperor and their stability, the 22/4 of the Fool's Journey, before that leap of faith on the invisible tightrope and net and horn, the 31 to be spontaneous and reach out and touch someone, phone home, or bring flowers closer to the tree, the 46 of the soulmates, the children, the loving spirits in gratitude and appreciation, a little girl and her unicorn, and rainbow all the way around the sun. At 147, the magician, 4 to 7, from the heart chakra to the crown, the underlying energy of the 15 and the dust devil, kicking up some dirt to cause some trouble, to clear some more, with the Knight of Cups 39 in a me-tox, and the 49 skywriting the fates, getting your wishes, with Sophia, which is the sky, Sophia's KY, the energy or quantum energy at the 0 point, the photonic light of 5 of freedom, change, and completion, and closing the door of the 43 of coming together to socialize, but with too much overwhelm and plenty. To grab for your grounding supplies now, for that light to come in, the photonic light. Plants, crystals, breathing deeply, salt, trees, meditation, the overflow of emotion in gratitude for all. So make sure that you breathe very deeply every day. So then I heard a plane go over at 152, and it was like that jet stream energy. At 152, which is the Magician and the Queen of Cups. Excuse me, the Queen of Swords. Where the 6th card came up here of the cosmic womb of the Divine Feminine, with the 17th star, which is coming up as the supernova, the event of light, and the dreams coming true with the eye of the needle and the ellipses to peek the star. It's like peeking through the star. So the star is actually when you no longer see the ellipses anymore. You don't see the circle or the ellipsis. You just see the vertical line and the horizontal line, which is the star. It's only seen on the vertical and horizontal axis as Atlas shines, the double-eyed needle of the twin flame quantum energy push and pull, of the star from love of the Divine Feminine's cosmic womb that they've been working on to prepare the ethers for the planet, the rainbow around the sun, the 62 of the will-o'-the-wisp. And then Wisconsin came up, and willows, the prison of will and treasures hidden in the shadows for release. The willow in Wisconsin, there is a place called Willow, Wisconsin, in Richland County, dnr.wisconsin.gov. And camping out at Willow Flowage was coming up because it's a lake and it's very unprocessed there. 57 of the unmarked trail in the maze under pressure, screwed, separate, and the 16, which is the empty well with sudden time to replenish, to fill the well. The 59 of the wailing tree of reconciliations, of nature under pressure, crying for attention. The 59 of the falling leaves, and the 50 of the 10 of Cups family, the spirit of the river, opening to a moment of adventure at 2:05 as the geese were flying south. And the 3 of Mother Earth, the Empress and abundance, of reunion, and benefactors of grace and generosity, the king and their consort in the mushroom, enjoying the show. At 2:07, the High Priestess and the Chariot and the Crow. 14 cards then came up there, talking about the 14D, which is the gold ray, the temperance, the angels of patience and balance. The 31 of the hand, which is the universe's partner, the gold heart in the divine masculine's hand, requires special handling. The 1 of the tidy house is the tree house by the tide. The 1 is the divine masculine magician, and the 54 is the Page of Swords mercurial crossing, sharing half of the tree in order to initiate the crossing. At 2:09, the High Priestess and the Hermit. So at 2:10, the Crow again, the High Priestess and Destiny of high vibration. Now the galactic mushroom of the 24, Queen of Wands Omega. The root of the tree, or excuse me, not the root of the tree, but the nut and the tree, where the nuts don't fall far from the tree. Here is the crowning and enlightenment of Wilson and the sock herbal. The galactic mushroom is more protected than the regular mushroom. The 2-vine matrix, or mother's trill of the 9, the hermit, the 1 and the all. The high vibe within, with the 7 of the chariot, the sacred covenant that is unwritten. The 38 of the Queen of Cups with the many massive authenticity of herself, and the 40 of the Page of Cups sweetheart with a vision and telepathic. The 4 of the caterpillar opportunity, and the 41 of the moon maiden's love to support new beginnings, in the 44 of the perfect storm of Atlas, and the raven peacock eagle vortex, and the courage to step into life. The lookout tower, the masters of the merge, the independent daughters held at bay, and the 21 of the world that is now complete, with the world's first breath, the beginner's mind, in energetic exchange with the king of the hill, with the lay of the land, and crop circles, and ancestral wisdom. So again, the flash of light is coming up as the world's first breath. That's very powerful. Uluru is also coming up here with the king of the mountain. And the 64 of the 10 of swords, woodwives, adapt. Half human, half tree, are more bendable, leaving space between. They're not so fixed as the trunk, as the main trunk. As the 28 twin flames, moose with hollow bones, or humbled, teachable, pliable, now willing to learn. At 2:20, the crow spoke again of the high priestess and the wake-up call. Instead of saying hello, to say hollow bone, hello, and then bone, which is the capital B of transition and one. The transition to one. Hello, to use, two as one, and then we ended at 2:21, and then next was 2:22, room 22, the guidance counselor show. So there was your message there. And the 222 is all about the 2 of the high priestess, divine feminine, the 22 of the fool's journey with an open heart, leap of faith, and the 222 of the 6 of love, family, and community, and the lovers, and the spiral. So we go back to the read on the table now. It's 1:30. And let's go back to the 7 deck read, which was done the night of the 20th, actually. This was cut and dealt, the SIRIAN Starseed deck, at 5:05. So I just have the total read here for you, but this is the total read on the table with the 7 decks. And at 6:04, F crystals came up and ALS. So Lou Gehrig's disease could be coming up as well, but ALS can also be alls. Taking off at the right angle with Sophia. F crystals is, again, reflecting crystals, which can be crystals or being Christ-like. At 6:04, the lovers and the emperor. Also, at 6:14, it was so weird, because 6:14 is the lovers and the higher love. I saw 2 older people. It was so weird. They were so misplaced. It's not, you know how that you just notice when a car drives through your neighborhood that they don't belong there? And it was a convertible that with the top down with 2 old people. And it felt very odd, like they shouldn't be there. So 2 older people, because they had white hair, and the woman had very short white hair, which reminded me of a woman who stopped at my house one time and said she was lost. And I don't know if she was or if she was just trying to get information. Like, why did she stop at my house, of all houses, getting lost? It was just really weird. But she reminded me of the woman in the convertible yesterday, or this day. So it just felt out of place, just so you know. I don't know if you experienced something like that. But at 6:22 is the lovers and the 22 of the Fool's Journey, with the major arcana of the lovers and justice, which is also Gemini and Libra, again, very much air energy. And before the read was the Chariot, which is Cancer energy. And then after the read was the Hanging Man, which is usually seen as Pisces, but I also get it as Capricorn. So we have 3 cups, 2 wands, 3 pentacles, and 1 sword. 32 and 31 of the journey and the chaos of life. The King of Wands with the Queen of Cups, and before the read was the Page of Cups, Knight of Wands, and the Page of Pentacles. 9 of Swords. There was nothing after the read, of the majors anyway, or the court cards. So the King of Wands and the Queen of Cups were the main players in this read. And we had double 1s, double 2s, which is the 11 of Justice, the 22 of the Fool's Journey. And then we just had the 12 of the Hanging Man, the 45 of the 5 of Cups, the Purging, the 89 of the 5 of the Expansion, Contraction, or Reflecting in the middle. We also had the 23 of the King of Wands, 34 of the 8 of Wands, the 57 of the 3 of Swords, and the 78 of the 10 of Pentacles, the end of the deck, or Heaven on Earth. The code line here is all about leadership, and the number 22, which came from 8 and 14, the Dance of the Angels, on the journey. And leadership, the lead ER ship or mercy ship. The seashells by the seashore. In the 8 dance of strength of the clear, wise, patient angel. The King of Wands, divine justice, E, which remember E is 1 equal and congruent to the lead mercy ship here. Also CC or carbon copy, a time out. To see the 8, the dance of the clear, wise ace, which I was getting Snoopy in his plane. And the Emperor, number 4, for the King of Wands, Master of Drama, and Divine Justice, or Libra, or just E, and leadership or lead mercyship. To speak with an accent where the Z's are like S's and C's are like S's in certain words, but without the dad. Time at sea. 8 clear patience and the King of Wands in the 2 vine just E. I'm getting Justine as well too. Justine Bateman. I was getting Russian accents here too, as well as lisps. So somebody lisps when their dad's around, so obviously their dad makes them very nervous. Lisps with their dad, or Russian stone. And I want to look up Justine Bateman too. Let's see what comes up. So the only thing that comes up in the news was how online trolls left Justine Bateman feeling messed up. So you can read that article if you'd like to. That was coming up from the Daily Beast via Yahoo. Also, Isabel Fuhrman and Liana Liberato set for Justine Bateman's film Face, based on her bestseller. The film, penned by Bateman, consists of 14, notice the number 14, vignettes, both comedic and dramatic. We talked about the comedian and about the magician here. Okay, so you can read that too. That was coming up from Deadline via Yahoo as well. And by the way, the pictures, Will Smith is in the picture next to there too with Ryan Reynolds and Evan Peters. But Will Smith was coming up when Willow, Wisconsin came up too, because Willow is his daughter. Okay. And 4-letter words were coming up again here, and that was part of my title from the 4-letter words, Pits and Pens and Pips. I'd rather live in his world than without him in mine. All right, so somebody lists when their dad's around. Also Russian stone. That maybe it's a Russian dad who's like a stone, but also somebody with a Russian accent with the Z's and C's. Strong, wise ace for the mastery of flames and passions. Time at sea, 8 clear patience with the King of Wands. Russian firewood. Also that stem is coming up again. Or weaving just E, the mercy ship. Strong, wise ace for the mastering of flames or passions. Weaving just E, mercy ship. Sudden event or epiphany or sexual exchange dance of the wise one for the King of Wands, or to master drama, desire, and divine justice. And here I'm getting Justine again. I was also getting SESE, which is session or sixthly, wandering, maggot, remaining a firewood or Russian dance to clear patience. For the Emperor, for the King of Wands, Libra, weaving just E, an urgent shipment or lead shipment, lead mercy ship or takes emergencies. And with just E, I'm also getting like a juror, someone who's on jury duty. Like instead of just is, it's the just E. All right, so now the read started here with this at 6:53, the Lovers and the Knight of Swords. And the bottom of the deck here, beneath these little mini deck cards over here, is the 8 of Cups reversed. And below that is the Page of Cups, 7 of Cups reversed, both of them, Knight of Wands upright, 2 of Cups reversed, Page of Pentacles upright, and the Chariot reversed. The Page of Cups reversed, rejection or vulnerability of dumping multiple loads. And by the way, it's 139 for this read. Emotional attachments with the Knight of Wands at a distance with an invite or opportunity to break down or stop driving or pull over. the need to halt or be still, uncomfortable with strong emotions of 2-8 or twin flames, and the truth presented to the Knight of Cups reversed at night with sister or suffering in silence, stressed out or can't sleep, uncomfortable about hostage or anxiety over rejection and or jealousy, or just feeling unloved. Awake, full free to leap to good news, open heart to the journeyman, with the Queen of Wands watching at night, with the Emperor and the Hermit upright here, but at a distance, in disconnect with issues at work or third party through work, recovering from exile and receiving big offer or offer of new life from one getting over a loss, regret, shame, or guilt, overwhelmed, triggered, or pushed to the limit, dumped on in the sun or with kids on vacation, exposing all, unable to walk away, with Cancer upright and reversed, Aries upright times 2, and Virgo and Leo upright here as well. The Page of Cups coming downstairs with the Knight of Wands in disconnect or distance from the Page of Pentacles, perhaps without a car or having to pull over, unable to walk away and no car, uncomfortable, exposed with kids or on vacation, out in the sun with words or issues, or kids exposed with work issues or third party, with Death reversed and the Emperor upright, the Wheel reversed and 3 of Pentacles reversed, or somebody dying in front of the Emperor in a twist of fate at work or school. So again, someone who lisps because their father or their boss makes them very nervous. So that could be someone dying in front of the Emperor because they're embarrassed in a twist of fate at 7-10, 0 backing up the co-creation, which can be a place of work or school, the church, the art center, the gym, whoever you co-create, or tired of going to the principal's office or for something they didn't do, or clinging to the Emperor in downturn at work while things are slow, or the after-school special. The Emperor after schooling the golden goose, even though the quiet angel or the perfect student or employee actually did it and are not fessing up. Tired of having to discipline people at work, or favoritism, or relative issue at 7-14. And that could reference drugs as well. I think that's the Quaalude number. 7 is Chariot, and 14 is that higher love or patience. And this could be the 1, and below that was attraction. With Scorpio and Libra reversed and Aries upright, weak Emperor when the King of Cups reverses around, as I'm losing my voice, you see. So is the Emperor intimidated by the King of Cups, or vice versa? Or getting schooled by boss or dad in front of kids or employees or coworkers, or in front of customers? You know, how embarrassing or inappropriate. The Devil's temptation, or castrated trying to mark their territory, with the Page of Cups reversed hanging out, inspecting every inch, or being inspected for reaping rewards of sexual gratification and needing strength of the Emperor to face the King of Cups reversed, as I lose my voice again. Or the Emperor or Aries is breaking up a fight or wrestling between the Page of Cups and the King of Cups, both reversed, tempted by a dependent or powerless, no longer obsessing, of splitting hairs or over details. At night, about romancing or drinking in the mountains, or double dating, and lobster being the 5th wheel, finding the perfect pearl while romancing the stone, the harsh truth of jail, rehab, hospitalization or surgery, porn or dominatrix, or handcuffed, or in a mouth, in a MASH unit where I'm really losing my voice, or handcuffed in a MASH unit, or committed, or child or partner with suicidal tendencies, or no longer obsessing about a suicide that happened a long time ago in the mountains, and then surgery, or committed after someone's death, or just lost it. I'm so sorry if that's something that you experienced. 728 is the Chariot and the Twin Flames, or choice of path. Glued to the glass ceiling with heart out or heart cut out, or suicide after wife swapping or group sex incident, or after plastic surgery, or no longer doing night surgeries, or no longer taking call, with Aries, Cancer, and Capricorn upright here, or a weekend away before another round of chemo or surgeries. With the 7 of personal growth, and beneath that the 55 of adventure, or being called out on vacation or out of vacation to do a surgery or compete for territory and being schooled by your elders. The King of Pentacles reversed in energetic exchange with the Star, the dream of Aquarius upright, Empress reversed, and the bliss of ending suffering with dumping multiple loads or emotional attachments, or just no longer confused about your options, where the worst is now over, out of the crib or out of the club, with multiple dumps or paralyzed on the ceiling in the fun house, which is dizzying, or laser tag injury, or multiple bullets, knives, objects, or thorns, or cactus wounds that need to be removed, one at a time. At 7:40, which is the Chariot and the Page of Cups, after the Page of Swords, sharing and finding peace, the wounded warrior surrendering or making peace with giving up. Patient angel and sudden event, epiphany of sexual exchange, suddenly Scroogey and not expressing true feelings. The Page of Swords reversed in a negative self-talk or rumors about the Six of Cups upright, soulmates or kids. Sagittarius and Scorpio suddenly closing up, with the Page of Swords not returning their messages, or patient after trauma keeping to themselves, not expressing or causing delays, with the Page of Swords reversed, or negative talk or rumors of the Six of Cups, soulmates or kids. Dumping multiple loads, Seven of Cups, Eight of Cups, uncomfortable being fully exposed at work or school, church, or any kind of organization, or I was getting the organ at church too. I don't know why that's important for somebody, but it is. The church or organ or organism or organization or surgery or personal growth or personal growth, which represents an ultrasound or perhaps a new child or a new growth, spontaneous orgasm or sudden growth on ultrasound or us or pregnancy out of nowhere. And at 8:13, which is the dance of transition, the Four of Pentacles of the Divine Masculine's heart in the Batcave, with the Queen of Cups, Hermit, and Queen of Wands all upright, starting over with the King of Cups reversed, in a heated exchange with the Knight of Swords rushing in with the truth. Atlas dumping multiple loads, burdens or responsibilities, and emotional attachments, or no longer confused with justice, defenseless to energies of the twin flame. The foundation of the Queen of Cups, with the King of Wands and the Knight of Wands, watching the King of Swords reversed and his world turned around with a Tower event, with the Divine Feminine in 5D, or people witnessing the sudden event firsthand. The central energy of the lovers upright on a quest for peace and a higher love, coming together with no excuses needed, and the High Priestess upright, challenged by the King of Wands shaman without peace due to poor judgment or a bad decision, being judged in the downturn, slowdown, or twist of fate. The Fool free to leap, and the Page of Pentacles inviting them to hang out, with Aries, Capricorn, and Pisces, with Libra reversed and Aquarius reversed. The twin flames, after arousal, are frustrated, no longer to be silenced, about accepting unwanted advances. No peace, being surprised by the Queen of Cups lover, juggling or performing for the Empress and the Knight of Pentacles reversed, or Taurus refusing to move or work. The wounded warrior, stressed out, not sleeping or crying at night, with the Knight of Wands upright. The Knight of Pentacles reversed, refusing the Knight of Wands, Hermit missing their flame, and now is the Five of Pentacles reversed, Hermit in the Mary Magdalene cave, crying out, happy with self, and facing their fears after a sudden event or awakening, unable to sleep or destined to be the Holy Grail, struggling to get out of their chains, to offer a new life. The twin flames, where two are recovering out to eat after a break-up, break-down, break-in, out, or through, or emergency or cancellation of a trip or a move. Two of Swords reversed with new information or decision, and the Page of Swords reversed, Magician reversed, trying to manipulate the justice system. The inequity of energy stealing with Lover or Gemini to get them off the fence or through the door. The Ten of Cups reversed, made a bad decision, and ending an emotional cycle that's way overdue. With the Two of Cups reversed and disconnect or at a distance, with the Queen of Pentacles no longer putting it all out there. Flirting, lovers, and divorce, or outside the box, spiritual community, with Atlas burdened after flirting at work, and the Two of Swords reversed, finally getting them to cave and tell, to finish the work and the cycle and expose all, or working on a tell-all book or project. Soon as the Nine of Swords, hiding in the woods, after hanging out, dumping a load, reaping rewards, after sex and the Queen of Swords reversed, pissed off, with the Knight of Pentacles reversed, who's coming clean or cleaning up their act or space. Healing, forgiving, or apologizing. The Magician reversed, either manipulation or insecure without tools, with the King of Pentacles, who is like saying, they're insecure without the tools, but saying, oh, but the King of Pentacles will get over it. The Magician manipulation with the King of Pentacles upright, who's getting over themselves. The Nine of Pentacles reversed, dependent or of divorce or break in contract, or dependent who's powerless, with Taurus reversed in a never-ending story. The twin flames are seeing themselves as the Ace of Cups reversed, with the Six of Cups upright, overworked, recovering from exile, offering time, money, and effort to the Page of Cups reversed, who could be someone who's rejected or vulnerable or spoiled brat, or it could be a baby crying, or new life to one rejected or who rejected them in part. Looking back at powerlessness, dependency, or spending or big purchase, dumping multiple loads and/or emotional attachments, or returning it all to the Nine of Wands wounded warrior who's on guard and overwhelmed or dumped, pushed to their emotional limit, triggered, or just crying like a baby. Soulmate, engagement, or you deserve love. Around the twins are how they're seen as the Ace of Wands reversed, of frustration or lack of inspiration, with the Ten of Pentacles upright and the Four of Pentacles upright. Wealthy, but acting like they have to protect every penny. The weak, and then again, that could be a very wealthy man who's very Scroogey. The weak Empress upright, with a reputation to uphold, ending pain or in painful ending of instability, move, visit, or the end of a marriage, home, or the party's just over. Juggling with the High Priestess. At 8:53, the dance of the Knight of Swords, or the catapult. The block here is Justice upright, powerlessness without tools, the King of Pentacles getting over their loss, with leadership, but even more so. Compassion, manifestation, follow your dreams, and love partnership. The Three of Swords is reversed, of healing, heartbreak, and the Hermit upright surrendering to all that is, with new clarity, cracking the egg, the Ten of Cups reversed, ending the cycle to heal and dream again. The Empress, Knight of Pentacles reversed, Taurus, Aquarius, blocking the Queen of Cups upright lover from getting to the wounded warrior who's stressed out with the Knight of Wands. The Hermit and Knight of Wands upright, and the Empress, Knight of Pentacles reversed, and the wounded warrior sister are suffering in silence, and unhappy families surrendering to it. To all. To heal in a divorce, with hard work with kids, hanging out at work with issues of temptation, ball and chain. Or that could just be a Capricorn as well. With the Page of Cups reversed, rejected about coming back downstairs or repeating steps, vulnerable to the Knight of Wands in disconnect or distance, with the Page of Pentacles, student or opportunity, but without a car or ride for kids, pets, or Leo, uncomfortable with their emotions of being exposed or driving on vacation by themselves. Off work with issues, with harsh truth of conditional restrictions and personal growth, and uncomfortable. Divine Masculine's heart, dumping multiple loads with the Queen of Cups lover, challenged by the King of Wands, shaman, and the Hermit in the Mary Magdalene cave, coming out of exile from the group, purging and hiding frustrations and lack of growth with justice in surrendering to all that is, hanging out at work with issues or out of work, uncomfortable with the Queen of Cups dumped and frustrated in need of new love and passion, with the Divine Masculine's heart and lovers challenged by the King of Wands shaman, hiding in the woods from justice, of Hermit coming out, surrendering to hang out with temptation at work. At 9:14, the Hermit and the Temperance card, or the Patient Angel, or Patience. So there you go, it's 1:54. So just, how about a quick energy card here? I'm sweating like crazy right now too. A lot of masculine energy. All right, what's our closing up energy here? What's our takeaway? What's our next step? What's our next step? All right, and that came right up. 48, the Angel of Balance. Just all about balance, walking away within. We also have the 43 of coming together with the man holding a coin. Okay. And then the 44 too of the woman holding a heart. Wait, is there one more coming up? Two more? Oh, they can come a lot. The bottom of the deck is the man holding the heart, 45, which is the purge. Okay, and then we have these energies here of walking away within, coming together, and then this is that energy of the social worker, grounding, integrating, and mastering how to receive love, right? So coming together with all, and this one walking away within. This also could be, you know, two parents and a child, or a parent and two children. And then we have these guys coming up as well. We have the storm coming here, the storm warning, which I was definitely getting, the 10 of, but it's in a good way, right? It's destined to happen, to clear the field. You know, kicking up the dust was coming up with the dust devil. And the thinking man of learning their new mission, becoming childlike in the 46 energy here of the inner child. And again, the envy of the dark mother, the praying mantis, came up in the read, right? The one who bites your head off, of judgment and envy. And then the opposite of that, right, of the strong feminine, right, of the angel of strength. So the polarizations of everything. And this of the family, you know, the matriarch of the family, as opposed to the dark mother of judgment and envy here. And the masculine here finding his mission after a storm came in to kind of, you know, break up the pattern here of the family, to get somebody out into their mission and deal with the dark mother versus the light mother energies here as well. Whew. All right, you guys, I gotta go. Remember to drink your water. So important to drink clean water right now, and breathe to expand your ability to take in light. Because when the light comes, you'll have an easier time with it, with grounding, if you've really expanded your breathing ability and stayed very meditative and high vibration, all those kind of energies that we talk about all the time. So remember to drink your clean water, get lots of rest as much as you can, joy in nature, and breathe deeply every day. And rise and be love. See you guys soon. Bye, guys.